The following sequences shown are the first lessons in a lesson course, and they are follow-ups on teaching dealing with pragmatic competence and register. Beforehand, we have discussed what the terms mean and how we use pragmatics in daily life without even thinking about it. Doing short exercises like this makes them aware of how important it is to use language appropriately. They consist of 6 short films, each dealing with the pupil's ability to use language appropriately in different situations. The learners are in the 9th grade. This lesson I have recorded is thus the first of a lesson course, and the idea is that in the following lessons we are going to move on to role-play activities with a conversation between one or more persons. These role-play activities are not in this recording. This student has to tell her mother that she has lost her mobile in the grass and requests for help.
Hey Mom, don't be mad at me, but I lost my phone in the grass. Could you please help me find it?
My response to this student was to tell her that some kind of pre-apology signal like "listen" or "you won't believe this" before she started her explanation would maybe soften her mother a little. There's no doubt, looking at her face and her body language, that she's feeling apologetic and would like some help from a person she knows well. This student has to apologize to her boss that she spilled coffee on his computer.
I'm so sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. I'm so sorry. If you want, you can deduct the money from my salary. I hope I didn't ruin too much.
To this student I suggested the use of more formal grammar to make the apology more acceptable. For example, she could start out by saying, "Excuse me." She could also take more responsibility by saying, "It was totally my fault, I should have been more careful." Also, I suggested alternatives to "so" and told her she could use words like "very" or "really." This student has to request his friend for help finding a phone he's just lost in the grass.
Hey my friend, I lost my phone in the grass. Will you help me look for it? You'll get a reward.
To this student I asked him why he would offer a reward. If they are friends, it would maybe be more appropriate to trust that a friend helps you just because you ask him nicely. This student has to ask an elderly woman if she can help him find his phone because he has lost it in the grass.
Excuse me, I lost my phone in the grass. Will you help me find it?
As a response to this student, I suggested that he was a little more formal and that it would be a good idea if he, after saying "excuse me," said, "I'm sorry to bother you. I would really appreciate if you could help me." On this recording, he also has an indifferent look, and it would help a lot if he could try and empathize with the role a bit more. This student has been told that he has to tell his friend that he spilled coffee on the friend's computer and has to explain and apologize.
I'm sorry, does it still work? So you got the better quick. I'm really sorry. Do you have anything else to use while it dries? I'm gonna help pay for a new one if it doesn't work.
My response to the pupil was that I told him that it is obvious that he addresses a friend, both by looking at his body language and his smiling and laughing. This is both good and bad. His friend might not take him seriously and maybe be offended. On the other hand, if they are really good friends, this could also soften any possible anger. He offers compensation, which is good. Try and keep eye contact. This student has been told that he has to tell his younger sister that he has spilled coffee on her computer, so he has to explain and apologize.
So sorry, but I broke your computer today. I spilled my coffee right in the keyboard. I hope you can forgive me.
My response to him was that I told him that he looked indifferent, and maybe a little smile would have helped soften his sister. It was also a very abrupt way to announce the accident. A little bit more explanation and a more apologetic attitude would be nice. He could have said, "You see, what happened was this," and so on. And maybe, "I know how much you love your computer, and I'm really truly sorry." I think he should offer her compensation instead of asking for forgiveness. But this is probably the difference in register between breaking a little sister's computer as opposed to breaking someone's computer you may be more respectful towards.